Hello and welcome to another episode of Sports and Songs podcast. This is season 6, episode number 26. Andy, tonight's the sports edition. What have you got
Yes.
on tap? Anything good? We're sitting here. It's Cinco de Mayo.
Yes.
And
The 5th of May.
we've got a trivia question. It's not tied to the Cinco de Mayo, but we do have a trivia question.
Oh.
We'll start off the show with that. We'll get the answer at the end of the show. And then we'll talk a little sports this episode.
All right.
Local, regional, and national sports.
A little of it all, yes.
All of the above. Lots going on this time of the year. Anyway, on this day, the trivia question is this. 100 years ago on this day, which Major League Baseball star went 6 for 6 and had 16 total bases in one game?
It's not. Okay. I'll have to think about that one.
The only hint, we'll give a hint, played for the Detroit Tigers.
Oh.
100 years ago today. We'll get to the answer at the end of the episode.
All right. Here we go. I got a few things here to follow along.
Okay.
I kind of jump around.
Yes.
I don't want to call them conspiracy theories, but I'm just going to say some of these things are lining up, and I kind of like the way they're lining. And I don't like the way they're lining. I'll speak slow so you can keep up.
For those in the back.
Yes. Don't forget, if I lose you, raise a hand, and I'll start over. Here's a picture. Alex Rodriguez was at an event, now new owner of the Timberwolves. He was at the Lakers-Wolves game. And standing next to him there was Shane McMahon and Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair recently single. A-Rod, single. I'm just saying.
Okay. Just saying.
Just putting it out there. Charlotte Flair, her old man's from around here. She's on the rebound. A-Rod, good-looking dude if you're into good-looking dudes. You know, maybe looking for a little business partner with Shane McMahon, maybe a little partner with Charlotte. Who knows?
Whew.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Not saying, just saying. Now, here's another one that bothers me. Everybody goes, oh, look, the Timberwolves in that bottom picture. Oh, they could have had Steph Curry instead of Flynn. Boy, can you imagine if we had Curry and Anthony Edwards? Okay, genius. If we would have drafted Steph Curry, we would have never had that first-round pick years later for Anthony Edwards. So, no, they wouldn't be on the same team.
Never going to happen.
I don't like when people do that. Oh, if we would have got that pick 3 years ago and then this pick, or 10 years ago, whenever the hell that was, Steph Curry, those stars would not have lined. Things were moved. Quit saying stuff like that. It's like in the fourth quarter. Oh, if we would have got that play in the second quarter, you wouldn't be in the situation you are now. Don't put the time continual.
Now, wasn't that the year the Wolves drafted, Johnny Flynn and another point guard, back-to-back picks in the first round or something, or back-to-back?
Yeah.
2 point guards, same position.
Right. Yeah.
And neither were Curry. Yeah, that was interesting.
Mm-hmm. All right, here we go. Whoa, too far. There's been 2 perfect games called by umpires in the month of April, where all the calls were perfects, nothing amiss. Kansas City won both games. That's all I'm saying.
Wow. Now,
does Kansas City, those pitchers and that, play such a clean game that it's easy to call? I don't know. Kansas City won both games, or both perfect games. Just saying.
Now, what I like about this, Andy, and I'd like to have your thoughts, is typically over the years, you don't hear about umpires unless they do something bad, miss a call,
Right.
blow a call. And that's typically the case. You're not going to hear about an ump or a ref in any sport that does something good. Now, since they've been tracking these reports, and they may have been doing it for a long time, but only recently have they been, posted on Twitter, on X, on a day-to-day basis. In every game, they keep this score sheet. It's a scorecard, and they get graded.
Mm-hmm.
And so the good thing here is that you can reward and promote the umps that do their job. Not only do it, but do it so good they get perfect score ratings. And so they do this. This is good. And this should be more well-known, I guess. But anyway.
And there was a story I heard during the Mets game over the weekend, and also in other reports, the announcers talking about it, how the umps their margin of error is a lot less now or more now because of the way they could check their analytics, and they're trying to it's getting kind of really harder on the umps. But
so it's what it's doing is it's making them accountable, saying here's your pitches, here's where you were off. And we're not going to lie, it was way outside. It was, and so they give you the chart and they do it. And it tells you where you're at. And they're always 98, 99% accurate, which is humanly, that's where you're going to fall. But these 100% is amazing. And so that's great.
Okay, let's talk a little town ball. This year's tournament, Hutch, Broughton, and Gaylord. I got on last year's shirt, so.
Oh, yes.
They haven't made this year's shirt yet, that's why.
Correct.
All right. Class A is Section 2 for teams in the East Battle region. Our St. Bonnie and Maconia. That's how you could follow them there. Class B teams are District 7, which kind of sounds like that movie. Carver, Delano, new to the group. Greenough, Plato, your Watertown Red Devils, West Tonka, and the YA Cardinals, as they call them. And then C is Arlington, Broughton, Cologne, Glencoe, Hamburg, New Germany, Norwood, and Winstead. You need to know that for the next part. There was games on Sunday, but it was B against C. They don't count those in the standings. If you look at the Crow River page, they won't put those in there. The standings will just be B versus B, C versus C.
Okay, so do they keep an overall record on the standings somewhere?
I think they will. I don't know if that's going to be a tiebreaker part or something later, but they will keep that. I mean, I know stats for the games will count for your stats, but
now
records if you make playoffs, that won't.
So number one, thanks for bringing it up, and I'll let you finish with the story. But I did, because this is going to be different this year, I did see something myself, looking up someone's team to see their schedule. If it's a I don't want to say conference, but a non game where you're playing the same class team, they're calling those exhibitions on the schedule.
Yeah.
And the other games are the real games. These are exhibitions. So keep in mind when you look at the schedule, they're all real. They're real games with umpires. They're keeping score. They count stats. The stats count, but they're trying to, they're not as important as far as the standings. So that'll take some getting used to, because I thought myself, why is some of these teams having so many exhibitions? What's all this nonsense? So the terminology is very important for 2025. And I think that's what you're getting at with the section, the district, the region. Very important. The terminology is going to be very confusing, I think, to many people.
Well, because these will count. You got to have so many games played to be in the playoffs and stuff like that as a player. And your stats, these are all part of it. They did only go 7 innings because of the 10-run rule. Watertown had to go the full. I saw one team, I want to say, go blank on it. I want to say it was Arlington, or someone, they played to a tie. They just didn't do extra innings. It was a tie. That's it. I mean, Glencoe and Greenough won 10 innings. I think they didn't go more than that. They just stopped after a while. Said, nope, tie game.
So there will be ties in these
what
are these called? The regular official games?
Non-class games, classless games. I don't know.
No, but I mean the real ones. What are they calling the real?
I don't know. The real games, there won't be ties. But this was a B against a C game, okay. So they stopped at a tie.
So that will be interesting too, because you will see when going to the ballpark and they're not playing the same class, games end in a tie or whatever. This is going to be an interesting season, Andy, is all I can say. Now, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying It's going to be interesting.
Now, we here like to help those out in need.
Yes.
Not only are we here to educate, we're here to give you advice. If you don't know what to get mom for Mother's Day next Sunday, here's a list of games in the Crow River Valley to go to. You can take mom to Arlington to see Broughton play. You can take her to Winstead to see Cologne play. If you're in the West Tonka area, the Norwood Young America Cardinals will be there playing. Delano will be visiting our friends in Carver. Cologne at New Germany. Norwood will be in Hamburg. If you're in Greenau, go see Plato play Greenau while you're there at night. Some games are at 2, some at 5. You could take mom to a couple games.
Great Mother's Day idea here. For the Crow River, always fun.
That's why we're here. Quote of the year so far.
Okay.
And finally, someone else says it. Paul Skeens. Positive things in friendships don't win championships. That's Hallmark material.
That is so good.
Chicago Cubs, first game without a strikeout since July 3rd, 2013. Again, first game without a strikeout. That's hard to do.
Wow.
Hard to do. Go Cubs. Kind of.
They are playing. They're the number 3 ranked team in the power rankings.
Let's just watch who we throw in there. Let's watch those. Yeah, they're not number 1. Just stop.
Wow.
I'll let slide this time.
We'll let her slide, but they're very impressive so far.
Yeah. Then I saw this stat. And it was a New York Mets stat to put up. Trying to compare Harmon Killebrew to Pete Alonso. Silly people. Of course, Harmon's better. Harmon's the greatest. Best twin ever, Harmon Killebrew. Higher batting average than Alonso. Higher OPS. They both had 530 home run seasons. They both had the same number of 100 RBIs. Both 4-time All-Stars. But the killer is better than Pete Alonso. Let's just stop that comparison right now.
Interesting statistics there, boy.
Let's not get excited. Harmon's better. Pete's good. He's a good young boy. He's not Harmon. All right. Rangers dismiss offensive coordinator Donnie Ecker. I read it earlier today. Brett Boone replaced him. Here's my question. Baseball. What the hell's an offensive coordinator?
That's awesome.
I've heard of a bench coach. You got your hitting coach, your pitching coach, your bullpen coach, bullpen catcher, first base, third base. Who the hell's the offensive coordinator?
So it's got to be something.
Jobs, I'll be an offensive coordinator for a team.
It's something new, right? It's got to be something new.
Is that just another name for the bench coach? Is that like a second hitting instructor? I don't know what an offense.
So here's my thought, and I could be wrong, but they have defensive coordinators. There's an infield coach, the outfield coach. What's the defensive alignment for this inning or against this pitcher or against these hitters? How are we going to defensively align? And they have a game plan for defense. So this might be, hey, here's the offensive court. Here is, for today's game, we're going up against a pitcher that we're only going to score probably 2 runs. What do we need to do that this is going to be a small ball game?
Would that be the hitting instructor, though, that does that?
Well, that's I think, how to hit and how to improve your hitting, but the actual plan of attack for that particular game, it may be, we want to try to do this. We want to try to do this.
What's the manager's job?
I would guess that's the manager's.
You got so many different titles for guys to be at them. I don't know. If you're going to throw money around the team, I'll be the offensive coordinator then.
Oh, that's so interesting. It's just, and maybe, and I don't know, maybe we can get some comments here, Andy. Is it a statistics, sabermetrics? Hey, this is what's bound to happen at this game or in this 3-game series against this team. Here's how we need to jump on them early. Offense,
the guy that triggers
get ahead in the count. Attack early in the count. Don't wait. Maybe that's kind of methodology, that psychology maybe is what this is. But I for one have never heard of this thing. Wow.
Obviously, he didn't know, he wasn't doing it very well. He got fired already. So, Okay. 25 best logos in sports.
Okay.
This is not a page. This bothers me.
Okay. I think I know.
The Yankees, that's a pretty low logo, but LA Dodgers is an L and an A. Colorado Buffaloes, it's a C and a U. What do you mean these are the best selling logos? Most popular? Because don't tell me these are like, the Avalanche one's kind of cool. I'll give you that one. Celtics won. That's old. That's cool. I'll give you that. But the Blackhawks won. North Carolina, it's an NFC. Get over yourselves. What's so great about that logo?
So
I don't understand.
Since we've been doing the show, Andy, 5.5 years ago, I've been taking notice of things like this, and I don't think I've noticed them before because this is a subjective question to everyone. It's different. It's like saying when we do on the music shows, name your top 5 guitarists, top 5 drummers of all time. Who's your best? Who are the best lead vocal? And you see these articles. These articles come out. Top 10 vocalists of all time, and you're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
So they're subjective, first of all, because from an artistic, if we brought Townball Tuesday on this episode, he'd have different ones, and he'd complain about these or that. And I, as a non-graphic artist guy, likes these, and these, and it's probably the ones he hates. And the answer is that there's no right answer.
Right.
But when you start having these lists, is it to get clicks? Is it to get responses, comments, just to sell forward? I'm going to forward this, and so people can complain about it. What I noticed myself finding is looking at the comments, and this one, something like this, will have 384 comments below it, or 800 comments on this one graphic, and I think that's what they're doing it for, because there's no right answer. Is that
the Jacksonville Jaguars are your 7th best, 8th best logo? Really? I mean, it's a nice, pretty little kitty head, but
it's a cool logo. But how do you even begin to rank?
Yeah,
I mean, this is college pro soccer.
European,
it's. So I think it's water cooler talk is mainly what it is, but so I don't know. I mean, Townball is a very good eye for this stuff, and he can't stand any of the City Connect jerseys.
Oh, him and I both.
And I think that there's a handful of them out there that are actually pretty good, but once again, there's no right answer. There's no wrong answer. He and you don't like any of them. Well, there's a lot of people that think the exact same thing, but someone must be. I don't know. That's what I don't get. But I do love logos, and that's what's fun about the show, because so do you. They're like album covers, right?
Yes.
That's why we like them on the show. Colorado Buffaloes. Right. That's wild.
Caitlin Clark's bully.
Uh-oh.
Caitlin Clark's bully. Carter was regulated to Mexico after getting blackballed by the WNBA. Some people are saying she's been blackballed. She's only playing in Canada now, or in Mexico now. She used to be the number 4 pick. Then she was hard fouls on Caitlin Clark, and you're blackballed and you can only play in Mexico. I'm pretty sure there's more to that than just that. There's a reason why. Was she a locker room cancer besides that? I don't know. I find that hard to believe that Caitlin Clark had that much pull that she was mean to me and she's in Mexico now. I have a little tough time with that.
Yeah.
I have a feeling there was more to it. They're using that as an excuse. We've all had seen sports where you're the top 5 pick, top 10 pick, and you suck and you're cut within a month. That happens. So just get over it.
But it's almost like the Trevor Bauer in baseball, where he was just chastised and no one wanted to touch him with the 10-foot pole. And it turns out the allegations are false. But by then he's been blacklisted. They don't want him. And so something happened here.
Yeah. I just know she did more in the locker room. She more of a cancer that way. I don't know. But I mean, I can see if you're maybe a little jealous. You're trying to make a name of yourself, which I get it. But I don't think there's enough to do that. There had to be more to it. So don't read it all. Let's see what else I got here. I have more stuff. Where's my clicker? My clicker ain't clicking. All right. You just got to look at me then. Here, I got some other stuff. WNBA's had a lot of injuries lately. Spring training camps coming up. They start on the 16th. Like Megan Gustafson for Vegas. They're just calling it a leg injury right now. When they know more, they'll say more, which I kind of like that. They don't come out and say a body part. Wait till you know, give the full diagnosis. Hey, it's this, and she'll be out this long. Because if you say it's an Achilles, everybody speculates a month to career ending. Just say it's a leg injury, we'll figure it out. And that's what they're doing. A lot of these WNBA people like that, though, they're either just coming over from Europe, college. Haven't had much of a break, so you might see some tweaks and maybe injuries are fighting at their college career or Europe that are getting inflamed right now. So we'll see. I'm not worried about Megan. I'm not worried about all these other injuries you see coming up. You're seeing some people cut. Like we've said before, the WNBA draft. I was like a third of those girls that were drafted that day get cut before it opens. So it happens. It's going to go on. There was some ripping going on with the Indiana Fever fans. They had to play Brazil, the national team of Brazil. And they're going, oh, well, wait now. You played the Fever, and they got Caitlin Clark. And, well, that game was played in Iowa, so, of course, all the fans were in favor of Caitlin Clark. Okay, so you could put the game in Toronto. They've been in favor of Caitlin Clark. Okay, so let's just stop that part. Yes, it was Iowa. It was her homecoming for that. Oh, but Brazil had to travel late and this and that, and they were tired. It's the national team. They knew the schedule when they signed up for it. They got their check for playing. They're happy. They weren't hurt. Brazil was not embarrassed. The check cleared. They're okay. All right. WNBA got to look good on cable. Got to look for their fans. Got to look good nationally because Brazil was watching it. It was a win-win. So relax. There was also a thing someone put out about, I'm sure you've heard of a team called the Savannah Bananas. Kind of like the Globetrotters of baseball.
Yeah.
They've been playing in college football stadiums drawing 80,000 people. They got some other different rules. They're kind of quirky, cute and funny. They got a person on stilts. They have celebrities bat. They make flips before catches. Woo! Not my thing. I'm not against it. I'm not going to watch it if it's my backyard either. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy people are enjoying it. It's helping the game of baseball. So I'm all for that. You know what? Kale helps you eat and live healthy too. I don't see a plate of it in front of me right now. If it's going to help baseball grow, it's going to help it get other people in, I'm there. Don't ask me about anybody on that team or any of the rules for how banana ball is played. I have no idea. But grow the game, baby. Take it and run. I'm happy for you. The USFL, I heard today, after week 5, might change their playoff format. Where it's be the 2 division winners and the top 2 records instead of the second place teams. So I don't know if that's going to go into place this year or not, how that's going to work. We shall see. That was just as I was waiting for Dan to log in today, that's where I read it. So as much as I do.
Interesting.
Hockey. The Minnesota Wild got bounced the other day. Good series. They played hard. That's just the Wild for me right now. The one stat I saw interesting, the one game I did watch was Dallas and Colorado had a game 7 the other night. Dallas' head coach was 8-0 in game 7s. The Colorado coach was like 0-3 in game 7s. And of course, Dallas won. I heard today Colorado's lost like 7 or 8 game 7s in a row. So you better win in 6 if you're a Colorado fan next year, is all I'm saying.
Yes.
Better win. But the hopes of a all-Canadian Final Four are out because Washington did beat Montreal. So we can have 3 of the 4 teams be Canadian. We could still got a good shot of a Canadian team making the Cup Finals. So, Canada. Just keep that going there. Major League Baseball. Our mention from last week, Mr. Clemens, Cody Clemens.
Yes.
A home run with Daddy in the stands. So that was kind of cool. You always like to see that. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much of a prick your dad is. It's nice to see you get your first home run in front of the old man. So
that's awesome.
That was kind of cool. Baseball, again, still too early to get too excited. Mets were 29 in April, one of their best months ever. They're not going to go 29 every month. I know that. If they go 500 every month afterwards, I'll be ecstatic.
Yes.
That means there'll be 11 games above 500. That means I'll have 93 wins. I will be a happy little boy. So go 500 the rest of your boys. I could care less. Just stay healthy. And that's what I got, man. That's my little tidbits.
So, in baseball, like they say, the rule of thumb on the season is your first. It was Tom Kelly, I think, who did this.
Mhm.
You'll rate the team in Major League Baseball once they complete the 50 games. First 50 games of the season. Then we'll see where things are going to shake out. And that's your good point of reference, I think, is when the team gets through that first 50 games. And the Mets are looking good. The Cubs are sharp.
Yeah.
Came out of nowhere. I wasn't even seeing where they were going to be projected, but they look good. Major League Baseball is going on. Minor League Baseball is going on. And guess what started this week, Andy? The Rookie League.
The Rookie League. Gotta love it.
So, and that's like for the Minnesota Twins. It's the Florida Complex League, they call it. And so that is the Florida Complex League, the FCL. The FCL Twins. Their uniforms are twins. They play on the backfields in Fort Myers in that league, and they travel by bus and play other teams in Florida. They carry a roster, I'm thinking it's like 42 guys. So it's like watching spring training, and they're getting guys experience, and they still have standings and things like that, but it's getting guys in. They started off now this week. And then there's the short season that starts, I think, later on there as well, when the players who get drafted, they'll come in July, they'll get drafted, they'll sign, and then they'll play that. I think it's the second half of this league, the Florida Complex League. It's later on. I think it's only a 100-game season. So that's what that is called. NBA, the Wolves knocked out. They're in the NBA now is in the Elite Eight. So there's 8 teams left. And now the NHL, same. I mean, the Wolves didn't get bumped. The Wild got bumped. The Wolves are in it. They'll be playing on Tuesday. The Wolves are in it. They're playing against Golden State Warriors, who won, which was another upset. So I think, Wolves are favored, actually, the favored team here being the 6th seed taking on a 7th seed, and all the rest, I think most of the other ones were the favorites won. So the Wolves are in it. I've been noticing a lot of Wolves fans all of a sudden following NBA here in Minnesota. And so that's for those folks, that's going to be fun to watch. The Wild is out. NHL is in, like Andy said, the final 8, the Elite 8. Now, PWHL, Professional Women's Hockey League. PW. Minnesota won it last year, right? And they had, 500 record, very average. There's only so many teams. Only 4 make the playoffs. And I think there's only 6 teams, 4 make the playoffs. So their regular season ended. Now, Andy, there's 4 teams that make the playoffs. 3 are Canadian. Minnesota made it. They're the only U.S. team to make the PWHL postseason. So they're going to go for a repeat and try to win their first round of playoffs. It's a best of 5 is what they do here. It's against Toronto. So this is a rematch of the finals last year, whatever they call the Walker Award. Walker Cup. It's the rematch of the finals. Loser goes home. Winner advances. The other teams are Montreal and Ottawa. So there's 4 teams left there for that. That is, I believe, what I've got here for sports.
PWHL did announce they're expanding 2 teams, Vancouver and Seattle.
So 2 in the
Seattle for sure, and I think Vancouver's up too. So Seattle, Vancouver's getting some games, but they'll expand for Seattle next year.
It's going to be fun. They're growing. It's only 6 teams. It's going to be 7 and then 8. Kind of like the WNBA is growing.
When they started, they just had a few teams.
Golden State is now in for the WNBA, and they're both having tremendous growth. Is all I can say. So that's good. That's good. All right, trivia question, Andy.
Yes, fire away.
Here's the question. The trivia question is on this very day. On this day in 1925 on this day, which player went 6 for 6 for the Detroit Tigers and had 16 total bases, had 5 RBIs, scored 4 runs, and went 6 for 6 in one game for the Detroit Tigers, 1925 on this very night?
Well, if he went 6 for 6, they're all triples, that'd be 18 total bases right there. So he had some long balls, so it had to be something with a little pop in the bat.
Incredible.
Wasn't Coach Mike? He didn't play for the Tigers, did he?
No.
Played there? No.
This was 100 years ago.
He was against.
You'll know the name, but I don't think many will get this just by thinking about it.
Roger Hornsby.
Good guess. Good guess. Not it.
No.
The answer, Ty Cobb, Mr. Ty Cobb.
That was my big guess, yeah.
So talk about being the stud back then. I mean, Cobb was not your top 10 hitter. He was the best or second best in those years.
He's man, yeah.
Stud guy. So hit for power, hit for average, scored a bunch of runs, 16 total bases, went 6 for 6 for the Detroit Tigers on this day 100 years ago. That's the answer, folks. All right. So we've got town ball coming up this week.
Watch for me Friday. I'll be at the Saints game, playing the Buffalo Bisons.
Yes.
So watch for pictures and dialogue from that for Friday's game.
That should be a good series. Buffalo. And what else? I think that's all we got. Keep posting.
Always fun in St. Paul.
Yeah. So XFL. So the XFL.
I gave you the town ball schedule for Mother's Day, so enjoy that.
And you mentioned earlier the XFL maybe changing the format. You know, we know the 2 division winners will go to the playoffs, and right now it's the runner up in the division. And I wouldn't mind it if they changed it, you know, for a future year. But I don't like when they mess with things during the current year. You know, people are fighting for spots right now. The season's almost over, and now they're going to go and pull the rug out and maybe change it this year. I'm not a fan of that, of course. If they want to do it in the future, I don't care. That'd be awesome. But
the only thing I don't like about that is when you only got 6. Yeah, there's only 6 or 8 teams in the league anyway. Don't mess with it.
There's 8 teams, and there's 2 divisions with 4 teams each. And right now, you're just trying to finish first or second place in your division, and that'll get you into the postseason. Fair enough. Whatever. I like that it's just a 2-week playoffs. Semifinals after the regular season ends, there's 2 games. And the following week after that's the championship game, and it's done. It's a 12-week season. So
if you're going to take the 2 division winners and the 2 best records, just have all 8 be in one division and take the top 4 teams. That's kind of what you're doing anyway.
Yeah, and I think, you know, it is what it is. I think that's fair enough. It's just there's so few games. These guys, there's only 8 teams. These players know each other. I mean, it's you're playing them twice. Well, the division you play twice, the non-division you play once. So I don't know. I think it's all fair. But yeah, they're done with I think 6, or are they done with 7 weeks now already? I think
6
it's 6
or 7. Yeah,
I think it's 6. All right, have a good week, everyone. Let us know with any comments. Please leave in the comments with any questions. Have a good week.